What's the worst thing that's ever happened on set? What's the most divish thing you've seen a photographer do? And do you think you could be a photographer doing what I do without an agent? So today I've got Karen, my agent, with me. We're going to go through my overview page of my website, and she's going to help me curate it in a way that helps us hopefully get as many jobs as possible. Okay, we're already in on it.
Good.
Okay, didn't even need to get the
drama.
tequila out. So what I've got in front of us here on the screen recording is my overview page, and this is the landing page for my website. So the aim here is that when potential clients, art buyers, creative directors, whoever's looking for me sees it, they can get as much information as possible about me. So Karen, what makes a good overview page?
So for me, an overview page has to be a very quick glimpse of your work and what you do. So it needs all the food, a bit of drinks, bit of still life and motion all together. But you have to also make it look quite nice as well, which is a bit trickier to do than when you're just doing a food or a drinks page. The overview page is a bit trickier to compile, but from a buyer's point of view, it is really important for me to be able to just see the work really quickly so that I know you would be right for a job.
So obviously this is like what they initially see. Obviously you know my work quite well.
Yeah, so
What's missing? Why am I going to be losing jobs with it set up like this?
well, I helped you set it up,
Yeah.
so I don't think
It's
you'll lose
pretty
anything.
good, but it was quite a while ago.
Yeah,
We've done
it was
a lot of other work since
a
then.
while ago, and I think it's great that you've got motion on every bit of the screen that you can see. You get a little bit of moving. That's good. So on your laptop, all the images laid out, you get one that's moving.
Yeah.
That looks quite. I think that looks quite nice, and it goes down. It's sort of a mixture. So you've got your food, your drinks, your still life, all mixed in. So for me, it looks.
Do you think I need like a more traditional drink shot near the top? Is it a bit too much foodie and a pair of shoes?
You could possibly move a drinks shot up to the top, but you also want to have near the top some of the more creative stuff, because someone could just look at the top, and if it's all very sort of commercial looking, they just click off of it straight away. So that you need something that draws people down. Some of which you do, because you've got the lollies and the drinks trolley. You've got some of the more creative stuff up the top. It's important, because I think if it looks too producty, people would just click off of it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that, isn't there?
I think for ad agencies anyway, definitely for creatives looking, get your most creative work at the top. Some of the more wackier stuff at the top.
And does there need to be any clear, like, this is a campaign we shot as like proof that we can work at that level, or does that not really matter?
I don't think so on the overview page, because I think you've got lots of brands in there anyway, so I don't think you need that in the overview page. But you might want to put that on one of your other pages where you do about. You can list the clients you've worked for in about, but I don't think you need it near the images. In fact, I don't like words near the images at all. It's just quite distracting.
Yeah, all the adverts I've got on here, we've removed all the text fonts. It's just the image.
Yeah.
Rather than having the whole copy on there.
Yeah, I mean, it all looks great, and you've got plenty of moving. We've added those new moving, beautiful shots.
Nice.
See, so when you're scrolling down, you're never really without something moving on the screen, which is quite nice, mixed in with all the stills.
And is that pretty much everyone doing that now?
No, I don't think everyone does that.
Should everyone be doing that?
I don't think everyone's got an overview page.
No, which really shocks me if you shoot more than one thing.
But I think you do need it. It's just really, really important.
Are there any shots in here that I should ditch that are letting it down?
I really like all of them, I think. I love the fact that we added those, the more cooked food. Because,
yeah, so we're lacking meals, weren't we?
Yeah. But they're cooked meals, but they still fit perfectly with your style. So I think that is the other thing that's really important is with the overviews, you get a very good sense of your style of work. So yeah, I mean it's.
What do you think's missing at the moment from that overview page that either I've not shot or should add to it?
I think possibly, I don't know if they're on here, but possibly we could put some more of those sets. You know, the sets that you did, the blue.
Oh yeah, the bigger shots. Where it's
Yeah,
a bit more
the sort of
building.
bigger sets. When you've got some more of those to put in, I think maybe a couple of those would be nice in there, because I think everything's quite small set at the moment.
Yeah.
Those aren't so much, but it would be maybe quite nice to add a few more larger set things in there.
So perhaps my next couple of test shoots then should be larger set builds rather than
big sets.
Yeah, big sets. Start building some bigger stuff.
And the people shots are coming through now, which are great, and they are in your style, so they fit perfect to your overview page. They don't jar at all. They look like they should be there.
Should I do the people on bigger sets, or should I do the food and drinks on bigger sets, or a bit of both?
I think you could do a bit of both.
So if we contacted maybe a modelling agency,
yeah, and get some people in that want to do some tests.
Could perhaps try one of those ones up north where they've got their own studios, and we could go to their studio.
Yeah.
And then if we just take bright backgrounds and wardrobe.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that would work brilliantly. I really like. I mean, I know you've done more of those people pictures.
Yeah, they're just in the very big queue of editing at the moment.
There's another two of this start type,
yes,
isn't
yeah,
there?
we've got two more like this. So we did a trio of the drinks. So we've got all three drinks.
Yeah, so those we could have another one of those on the overview page.
Yeah.
And we could get a bit of motion in there with the people as well, because I think every time you do a still now, you should try and get a bit of motion on the back of it. Something quite cute, quite clever, but it doesn't have to be very long, because everybody wants the motion and the stills.
They do, which is good, I think. I quite like doing the motion.
It's nice because it's seamless.
Yeah.
It all fits.
And it's a bit of extra money as well, sometimes. So is there anything on here which I should lose? Like, is there too much pink going on, or what can I do instantly to make it, like, what's letting it down at the moment? Is there too much of it?
No, I mean, I can scroll down to it to the bottom really quickly, so I'd say not too much. I think there's just the right amount.
Is that one shot of the Christmas drinks too much? Further down. This one. Does it look a bit out of place?
It's very different to all your other stuff, but I really like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. Maybe you could either do more of it, that sort of style, and add it in, or you could just take it out if you want.
I think it's too different to what I do, isn't it?
It's very different to what you do. I do like it as a shot. I think it's a nice shot.
It looks a bit more like Cara's work.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. So possibly, but you could redo that shot. You could work on that and redo that shot in your style.
Yes.
You know, the idea's there and it's lovely. So all you need to do is just reimagine it in the graphic, and then it'll be perfect. But yeah, I mean, that one out of all of them isn't quite the same. I think everything else is really nice. I love that one.
With the flowers, yeah.
Yeah,
That was good.
It's so pretty. And these are great in there as
Sif
well.
and the Fairy, yeah. But what I've not got on there is any of the Johnson & Johnson stuff, actually.
Yeah, so, and they're different colours, so they might break up your pink a bit if you feel if you've gone too pink.
Gone too pink. So it's very orangey, pinky, reddy, isn't it, in places? Pink does look good, though.
This is lovely. I mean, we could do some more of this stuff.
Yeah, I think I could do some more sandwiches, burgers.
Yeah, I think this sort of that close up is really, really nice.
Yeah, so maybe what I need to do then is go and take some of these
Yeah.
Johnson and Johnson shots, or the fairy maybe.
Those ones are so well, I say they're so simple, but they weren't simple because I saw how you did them. I saw how you lit them. So they weren't simple, but they're very effective and they look good. So
yeah, so maybe I'll bring through some of the Johnson & Johnsons. Is this a good shot or is this a bad shot?
that's not one of my favourites.
No.
I like the idea of this, the water and the inks and stuff like that, but it's not my most favourite.
No, this is better, isn't it?
That's better, yeah.
Yeah, maybe this watch one as well. So I'm not a fan of doing too much watchy stuff. It's quite specialist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'll bring through some of these Johnson & Johnson
Yeah,
shots.
that's my favourite one on
The
there. On
Listerine.
that one, yeah, it just looked fantastic.
Yeah,
really
that was a nightmare. Many swear words were said.
And these, I mean, which are
Yeah,
along
from
the
the Grey Puff
they're
campaign,
on along the similar lines as the Kenvue stuff, but just slightly
Is there
different.
anything hiding in my drinks that isn't in the overview that should be there?
These I love.
The milkshakes.
Yeah, I think they're beautiful. I really like those, so I think they're good to have on your overview
Yeah,
page.
I think I've got that pink one already, which is good.
That one again is it's not, it doesn't, like, if I looked at that, I wouldn't say that. I know it's your shot, but if I didn't know your work,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's one of Scott's shots.
So do you think having this in, like this sort of shot here inside the drinks bit's okay, as long as it's not on the overview bit?
Yeah, I think it's fine there. And like I said, you can redo them because I can totally see that redone as graphic.
Right, this sort of thing. Is that any good, or was that just leave it in there as a filler?
It's all right. Again, that's not one of my favourites to look at, but that's just me, personal.
We've got the drink bottles. Do I need any of this sort of stuff in my?
I think they're good to have in because it's quite commercial.
Yeah, should I put some of that on my overview page? I think the more.
Yeah, you could do that one. Is that one in your overview?
No, put that in there though.
Yeah, that could quite go in. I mean, I love these. They're just
the
really,
coffees.
yeah.
They're just at my mate's cafe on this floor.
They're just so simple, but that to me is really just quite lovely to look at. You've got that one, haven't you? The drip. That's quite.
I don't know, but if I've not, I'll put it in there because I like the drip as well.
Yeah.
What about the kids?
Yeah, I'd just leave that in the drinks.
In the drinks, because it's too different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Me?
But again, that's one that you could, when you start to look at things and you get a sort of feel for them, you can redo them again and again, can't you? Until you get something that you really, really love.
Yeah, because these don't seem so bad inside the drinks thing, do they? They kind of fit in there. But on the overview page, the more busy shots just look a bit.
I think in the overview page, your style comes through really strong.
Yeah.
And that's why they just look a little bit off.
So let's quickly check our food page as well and see if there's anything I should be taking from there.
My favourites, those.
Oh, I don't think that's in there, is it, on the overview?
I think it is. I'm sure I saw it. It's got to be in there somewhere.
No, it's not.
Oh, you got that one.
Chips.
Yeah.
We did it. We've done it. Not completely messed up.
No, those are.
What about the corn on the cob? Is that too busy again?
What, for the overview?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe leave that one just in food.
Quite like the crisp sandwich, maybe that.
I love that. I love that because the food. I don't know who did the styling.
Jess.
The jam and the bread is just really great.
Yeah, it came out really well. Maybe I'll put that in there then.
And these I love. Those are just...
yeah, the school did. That was her as well, same stylist.
Yeah, it's just really nicely done and it just fits your style perfectly. I mean, they did really.
Yeah.
Although at first probably we didn't think they weren't quite sure if they were gonna, but they did fit your style perfectly. Yeah, they do work, don't they?
And then, I've got this, I could put some of this bigger set build stuff on the front page maybe.
Yeah, this is lovely. And this is the stuff I sent out to, that's what I sent out to some of the magazines.
Ah, super.
Because I just thought it was so different. So I like this sort of thing. It's just really lovely imagination. It's just not really nice and the food looks Great. So you could have some of those on the overview.
Yeah, maybe put a full English on there as well. What about this one? Should that be on there?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm not so keen on the sausages, actually. If you go back, there's me just picking holes now.
No, please do.
If you go back a little bit more, that one.
This video clip.
But it's a clip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a sizzle.
Yeah, it's not one of my favourite ones.
No, we'll pretend it doesn't. We'll pretend it didn't happen. We'll ignore that.
These I love.
Yeah, that was with Jess as well. They were
The colours and the props, everything.
But I don't think Jess
lovely.
works as a stylist anymore.
Oh.
I think she's gone to a different industry.
She's doing something different.
Yeah, she's doing event management now.
I think
which is a shame, because everything I did with her came out really nice.
Yeah, they are nice. I mean, I just think
don't
it
think
looks
that
great.
should be in there, should it?
It's very different, and
I like it, but it doesn't belong, does it?
No, it's a really it's really different from everything else.
Painting.
But I do quite like it. I don't dislike that. I think it's I like it.
Would you keep it in there, or? I'm not going to get a booking of one shot like that, am I?
But you're not going to get turned down for one shot like that either. So I think you know everything else just.
What's your opinion on my spam lolly?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it divides the room sometimes.
Does it?
Yeah.
No, I think it's great.
I think this can go. That looks a bit Mickey Mouse, doesn't it?
Yeah, possibly that one could go.
Is there anything else now?
I love the sweets.
Yeah,
I mean
like
they're
those.
just people would have those. I always think you would have that printed up as a poster on your
Yeah.
wall. And I think if there's a shot you think you've done and you think I'd hang that on my wall, then I think, well, that's a good shot then.
Yeah, maybe we should do more of those in the future. Or something else, not sweets, but like the same sort of.
Yeah. They're just very simple, but actually really effective, and they would look great as prints. I mean, I could see them all as prints on the studio, like as a set. They would just look fantastic.
When we build the new studio next door, maybe we could do some big prints in there and have the giant sweets or the giant macaroni cheese.
Yeah, they would look pretty amazing, printed up big and framed. So I think if you think that a shot would look great like that, then it's a good shot.
So, to summarise so far, we need more people.
Yes, a few more people.
Bigger sets. And more moving image.
And keep doing the moving, keeping the moving in there.
So, after this, we'll phone up my favourite styling agency and ask them who's available to do test shoots.
Yeah, so some big sets.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Come up with some good ideas. And then make sure it's like for clients that might want to work with us. Cool. That's all good then. Should we go through the questions I've got? I've got questions on my phone for you. Okay, so questions from other people are, what makes a portfolio stand out to you? If someone wants to get signed by you, what does their portfolio have to be? What does it need to have in it to make it?
It has to look totally different from everyone else's. It has to have really good ideas, amazing ideas, and well executed. Nice lighting, things like that. But for me, anything that was quirky or different always stood out to me, because there are so many people out there that can, there are so many photographers. I think really at the end of the day, your imagination is the only thing that is going to make you stand out.
Yeah. So good concepts. Different style.
And beautifully executed, beautiful lighting. It's nice to see something that's been really beautifully lit.
And do you care who they shot for before?
No.
Does it matter whether they've done like a massive night campaign or whether they've never done one before at all?
No.
No. Okay, this isn't on their questions, but my question is, what's the worst thing that's ever happened on set? Like the most disastrous studio burns down.
Do you know, I don't think we've had anything really bad.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. Probably because I was planning everything, so
well,
nothing bad is going to happen.
You weren't there in my previous life when our robot went through a table at the end of a shoot day. That was good.
I really don't.
You never had a disaster?
Well, years ago when I was art buying, we didn't really go on shoots. as such because we were always in the office, so it was unusual for us to be in the studio. Whereas nowadays, it's more art buyers and producers are in the studio the whole time. So there could have been disasters that I just didn't know about. No one told me. But I mean, I have had shoots in the past where I haven't been on set, where they've done it and it's all been thrown in the bin afterwards because the client didn't like it. And no fault of the photographer or anything like that, it just wasn't the right photographer for the job. And it all never got used. So that's quite bad. But and I have had that happen.
Everyone got paid still?
Everyone got paid. Lots of money, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which and the shots were beautiful, but they just weren't right for the brand.
Yeah.
And it took the brand a long time to find the photographer that was perfect for them.
What's the most divish thing you've seen a photographer do?
Oh goodness.
Or the most divish request you get from photographers?
Well, we did used to have. I can't say.
No, don't name the photographer.
I can't say names, but we did used to get we used to ask for in those days it was contacts back from shoots, and we'd get like 6 sheets, so we didn't get all of them, and that was quite divish because the photographer would keep everything and he'd only send what he liked back, so the art director didn't get to choose through the whole look at everything that was shot. And that used to be a bit of a problem. We did used to get them eventually.
Yeah. Chase them for it. Do people need a digital or a printed portfolio?
I think both is nice.
So we're doing a printed one for me at some point, aren't we?
Yeah, because agencies are still having portfolio days where people take their work in. So I think both, really, you should have, if you can.
Who decides the price for the work? Is it you, the agent, or me, the photographer, or someone else?
I think it's both of us, really, isn't it? Usually, talk about it, and depending on what the budget for the job is, depends on what we get to charge. But it's usually between the two of us, I would have said. And
then, without causing absolute uproar, in the same agency, are different photographers getting different day rates?
Yeah, they do. They do get different day rates depending. Again, it all depends on the job.
So it's more the job than the photographer.
It's more the job than the photographer because some jobs are fantastic, but they only have small budgets. Photographer really wants to do them, so the rates might be lower. And then, other jobs have bigger budgets. Usage, bumps up prices. How it's going to be used will should make your fees bigger.
Yeah. And then, why do you have an agent? What's your purpose? Why are you getting a percentage of my hard-earned cash?
That's more of a question for Pete, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is more of a question for Pete. But agents are very well connected usually. Well, like Pete, they are meeting people every single day, selling your work, really, selling the agency itself. And then they also invest, they're investing all their time and expertise into promoting the photographers. They join things like Production Paradise, and all their photographers are included on that. They buy lists, like bikini lists, and and all those things. They invest their money in to help market the business.
And do you think you could be a photographer doing what I do without an agent?
Probably.
Yeah.
You could, yeah.
And if you didn't live in London as well?
Yeah, I mean, there aren't. If you don't live in London, then there aren't. I don't imagine there's as many agents further north.
I don't think there's any, are there?
Maybe we have to start a trend.
Yeah, we'll start a Leicester agent.
But I don't really think it matters where you are in the country. And some photographers want an agent because they actually don't like dealing with certain parts of the jobs. So they might just want to take the pictures. They might not want to do all the production, all the money side of things, all the to-ing and fro-ing with clients before the job actually gets to shoot. And that can kill off a bit of how you feel about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you've had to deal with all this
There's nothing
stuff,
worse than doing the negotiating up front, then turning up knowing you've had your price battered down. You're already in a bad mood. Whereas if you don't know, it's quite...
Yeah, and I think lots of photographers don't necessarily want to do that on their own. You know, they want the advice of an agent, you know, and even to know when to turn down jobs when the money's just ridiculously low and you have to say no.
So if you had two photographers, one of them was very deliberate body of work, which was all in one style and one genre, and the other one did a bit of everything, which one would you choose?
I like to have, personally, it doesn't mean it's the right answer, personally, like to see a strong style in a book. I like to be able to recognise who shot what. When I was doing all my beauty and fashion, I used to be able to tell who'd shot the cover of Vogue without even looking at the credits. Yeah. So I could tell based on the style and the lighting, I more or less knew who'd done it. So for me, a strong style is really important because it just helps you remember that person.
And how often do you take on new photographers?
Or, that's another question for Pete, really.
Yeah. We'll bring him up.
But you know, we're always looking, always reviewing books, always looking at books all the time.
So if people want to have their work looked at, what's the best way for them to get you to see their work?
If they're looking for an agent, then they can just send in an email. Send a little link to their folio, and
it's like a website link.
And then we just look at it.
Cool.
I've got
Good
really
stuff.
runny nose now.
That's right. I know, that's all the questions.
It's all
look
the
at
questions.
that. Yeah.